Yo, what is up, you guys? It's the Michael Myers. Welcome back to a brand new live stream, you guys. So yeah, definitely can't wait to get into this one. Of course, it's the Monday Chillin' Part 5. So yeah, man. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. Um, Definitely gonna be just decided to kill some time, man. Kill some time with you guys right now. Just chilling at the house right now, man. My actually was gonna start watching a movie. But then I'm like, nah, let me go live first. Then I'll probably watch a movie. I'm on Tubi right now, as you guys can see. So yeah, it's just a chill live stream. I was gonna try to give you guys like some news, like some upcoming news. I mean, if you guys know any, you guys could definitely drop them in the comments. But there hasn't lately. There hasn't been anything as excited as So I'm not really looking forward to anything as of lately. So with the news, other than like Maxine, which is the only film that came to mind, honestly, that I'm actually like can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? But yeah, and I also, as a matter of fact, I was gonna call this live stream horror movies I watched this week. I did watch a few, but it's only a few titles. So yeah, I didn't really watch much. But yeah, we're definitely gonna get into it. Yo, Nicholas Woodda, what's up, man? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Yo, Chippy, what's up, man? Happy Monday, man. Happy Monday. You already know I definitely had to hop in uh, on the live stream, man. You guys know my weekly live stream. So yeah, man, pretty cool. I mean, like I said, if you guys know any, um, as of recent news, any upcoming movies, any upcoming stuff, definitely drop them in the comments. Like I said, me personally, I don't really have nothing in particular. Like I said, looking forward to. So I haven't really been up there as far as updated with the news. But I mean, it's all good, man. Like I said, there's a few stuff coming out, that I definitely can't wait to check out. But yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely cool Monday today. Um, I'm loving it. I definitely, like I said in my last live stream, definitely loving the summer, man. I'm glad it's not too hot because I know a lot of people look forward to the summer for the heatness, the hotness, but me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. And like I said, man, I'm glad. I'm definitely glad. Um, it's not too hot for sure, man. There's a scary called The Jester. It came out last year. Haven't heard of it, man. Haven't seen it. There's a few movies that I've seen this week, which, like I said, we will get into it. But yeah, as of the latest movies, I definitely haven't seen. As a matter of fact, last week, man, I was gonna go see In the Violent Nature in the movie theater. As you guys know, I was kind of looking forward to it. I still am. I still am definitely. And I wasn't towards the end. I wasn't gonna go at all, because I figured it was a film that could wait. It's a movie that could wait. Uh, but since the trailer came out, man, I definitely been looking forward to it. But like I said, um, I was gonna go. I was gonna go someday last week because I just had some spare time. I'm like, screw it. I felt like going to the movies. And the only thing that was available to watch, you could say, is you know, In a Violent Nature. But actually did not end up going. I did plan it out. I had my day or my night, that afternoon. I had it plotted out. I had it planned out. I was gonna watch this movie, but at the end, I did not end up going. Uh, so yeah, that's my little story. I mean, I know some of you guys have also um, have asked me what I think about In a Violent Nature. Haven't seen it, but like I said, I'm still looking forward to it. Just based on the fact that it's a new slasher movie. It's a new, you could say, modern slasher movie. So I definitely can't wait. I definitely can't wait for it, man. Uh, so yeah, so we're gonna get into some of these movies, man, that I watched during the week. Like I said, it was only a few, and I actually did watch one on Tubi, which was we're gonna start off with that one. Was Return of the Living Dead, man, the original. So yeah, it was actually my first time watching it. As a matter of fact, I think here I'll show you guys real quick. Uh, I saw it on Tubi. As you guys know, Tubi has a lot of good stuff, man, for free. They got the sequel right here, part two, which I have seen. It's been a while, man. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not the biggest fan of the zombie movies. To me, that's all, George A. Romero, of course. Uh, the Dawn of the Dead, all that good stuff. And for sure, Return of the Living Dead, I feel is like the definitely one of those series, man, from the zombie movies that are up there, with the George A. Romero film. So I might watch this part two, the sequel. Like I said, I rewatched the original. I think it was on Friday. But they have a lot of good stuff, man. Killer Clowns, of course. Creep Show 2. So yeah, man, I definitely recommend it if you guys are bored, just like me. I honestly, I'm gonna be honest. This week was a quite boring week for me. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I actually ended up watching some of these films. There was a few films I've been trying to watch that I had recently picked up, but I haven't watched some of them. And most of these titles that I'm gonna show you, um, they're mostly like rewatches, because it was like Return of the Living Dead. I just played on it for the screw of it, for the afternoon or whatever. But yeah, definitely a classic movie. As far as Blu-rays and DVDs, I don't have my stand, so I can't really like. That's why I've been holding the camera. But here's the first film I watched. This is one that I've been trying to watch for the past couple of weeks, man. The Burning, of course, 1981. Like I said, I even mentioned it on my last live stream. I really wasn't expecting much going into this movie. Uh, and I watched it. It's exactly what I thought it was gonna be, man. It's definitely, you're very much Friday the 13th inspired. It's still a good movie. It's still, I'm not, crapping on it. I know a lot of people do crap on these, B 80 slasher movies, but I mean, it is what it is. They're dumb, cheesy, but hey, this one was okay. It was solid. Like I said, it's not a bad movie, but I definitely recommend it, man, if you're a slasher fan. So yeah, man, The Burning. I thought the killer was really good too, man. Like I said, I really liked like his choice of weapon. Of course, it's different. It's different than the typical weapon. Butcher knife, machete, or axe, whatever the case may be. Uh, Brandon loves horror. What's up, man? Hey, what's up, man? Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're having a good Monday, man. Just here chilling, going through some of these films I've watched, man. But yeah, like I said, I was gonna call this live stream the movies I've watched this week, but like I said, it's only like a few titles. Usually, when I would do, when I would go over most of the films I watched is when I've watched quite a few, quite different ones throughout the week. But it's only a few titles. Like I said, most since my week was kind of slow this past week, I definitely was on Tubi. Definitely was going through titles, rewatched a few films, Return of the Living Dead. Uh, but yeah, but I also popped in a few Blu-rays. Here's the next one. Uh, The Collector, man. I was like, I don't know. I just felt like rewatching this. It's been quite some time now. I know there's a lot of people do like this movie. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I really did like this movie. I still do. It's not a bad movie at all. But I feel like now it really didn't like hit me the same. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it. Last time I've seen it a few times. The last time I've seen it was like years, quite some years ago, man. For sure more than five. It's not one of those, revisited movies. Like I said, I know The Collector. has quite a fan base, and I'm definitely a fan. The collection, the sequel, a little weaker, I will say, but the first one, it's solid. You know, it's a decent film. Um, of course, man. This was 2000. I think this was like 2008, right, or something. 2007, 2009. Damn. But yeah, of course, this was, you could say, Saw inspired, and I very much agree. Of course, you know, with the traps and all that, which which I feel was you could I wouldn't say the issue with it. Like I said, I think it has its fans for sure, but I think that's one of the main reasons people like kind of like not as interested, because it's one of those, Saw inspired movies. And like I said, it's solid. I think the killer pretty iconic. Like I said, I remember when I first watched this, man, for the very first time. I love the killer. I love the movie. Like I said, I really do like if you're in it for a killer, you'll definitely like this. But yeah, but I really still I honestly I was actually disappointed when they canceled the third one. I think it was gonna be called The Collected, if I'm not mistaken. Uh yeah, man, I was disappointed because even though the second one, The Collection, was weak, um I was still you know l- looking forward to a continuation. Um and yeah, and I think the director has actually spoke on the third one, on why it was canceled and everything like that. But like I said, man, this time around, this time watching it, it didn't really hit the same. It's still a solid movie though, for sure. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think of The Collector. Like I said, I know there's quite a fan base for sure. Relaxing, being calm. Hell yeah, man. Definitely. Same here, man. Like I said, I'll probably watch a movie from Tubi. Uh, a lot of good stuff. Even though a lot of this stuff I have seen, but a lot of this stuff I haven't seen in a while. So that's why I've been, catching up for sure. Um, but for sure, man. And also another films, or two other films that I definitely I'm looking forward to rewatching real soon is Ti West's X and Pearl, especially Pearl, man. I've seen X quite a few times. Pretty good movie. Uh, and Pearl, man, pretty damn good movie as well. So yeah, since I have only seen Pearl like once, so yeah, man, definitely had to rewatch those. Get ready for Maxine having a late dinner. Awesome, man. Definitely glad to hear that. Yeah, man. Just a Monday chill. Afternoon. Definitely hope you guys are feeling good, man. Like I said, it's early in the week. We're just starting the week, so hope you guys are staying cool, man. Voodoo has a lot of free movies too. Yeah, I do have Voodoo as well. There's a quite, of course, Shutter, a lot of good ones, man. And the thing is, it's free. It's free. I don't even have like a Tubi subscription, whatever that is. All I had to do was like the app, download the app on the TV, and there you go, man. Just on 2 clicks, 3 clicks, there you go. And I didn't have to go through the whole, make an account and all that stuff. But yo, Johnny, what's up, man? I'm doing pretty good, man. Been doing pretty good, man. Taking it easy. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Like I said, it's always much appreciated from all you guys. It's always great killing time with you guys. But yeah, man, definitely, Johnny. Always seeing you around, man. Definitely appreciate the support. I love The Collector. It's like a rated R version of Home Alone. Butthead. Yeah, man, for sure. It's a good movie. Like I said, it has its fans. I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I think you guys definitely still, you guys will like it, if you haven't seen it. I know, like I said, some of you guys, it's quite pop. I will say, from what I've seen personally, like within the community, it is quite a popular series, man. At least a couple years ago, you know, um, like I said, the third one was like it was canceled a few years ago. But yeah, man. So here's the next film I decided to watch. This one I'm always revisiting. It's definitely a classic. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest about this movie because this is a movie that I really, growing up, I've always, I respected it for what it is and for what it was, But I remember the first time I watched this movie, man. I was kind of like let down, like not disappointed, but it really wasn't the movie I thought it was gonna be. You know what I mean? Quick second, you guys. So yeah. But once I got older, man, once the rewatches, rewatching it and everything throughout the years, of course we all grow up, we mature and all that, but we also mature as far as an audience, as a moviegoer, as a fan. You know what I mean? So uh, it's always great revisiting. It's always great revisiting a lot of these movies, um, even though a lot of these movies we might, you could say, despise, we might dislike. Like the last film I'm gonna show you guys in this list is a movie I haven't seen since the first day that I bought it, and I hated it so much. But I actually ended up rewatching it, and my feelings haven't changed. But it's interesting looking, from today's perspective, in today's lenses. But we'll get to. We're gonna save that one for last. But the one I was talking about, man, Silence of the Lambs. Always going back to this one, man. Like I said, I'm gonna give you guys my real opinion on this movie. I know it's definitely a classic. Everybody loves it. Everybody praises it. But like I said, man, in the beginning, I was It definitely was. Like I said, it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I was sort of let down, um, because of course, us as young fans, us as young horror fans, we know who Hannibal Lecter is, and I kind of expected a little bit more from the character, him as a killer, and that's one of the main reasons I despise it. But like I said, not despised it, but I wasn't the biggest fan of. Um, I didn't get the classic status that it holds. But like I said, man, once the years go on, once you grow, mature as a as a horror fan, as a moviegoer, I love this movie because obviously me as like a as a kid, we just want to see slasher movies. We just want to see killings from left to right. Um, so that's one of the main reasons. Like I said, that's what I didn't get from this movie. But like I said, this is mostly like more of like a thriller, uh, horror, and those movies, those definitely have grown on me. Um, if anything, I think I do like these type of thriller horror movies more than actual slasher movies now. Um, but yeah, man, Silence of the Lambs definitely is one that I always revisit. Like I said, man, Anthony Hopkins plays the role like that's definitely him. Just like Robert Englund is Freddy, and so on, so on. Same thing with Anthony Hopkins, man. Hannibal Lecter. Since I rewatched this movie, it kind of made me want to rewatch the rest of the series. I know the rest of the series isn't as good as the original. I've seen a few of the other ones, like I think Hannibal Rising or something like that. But it's definitely interesting. I definitely want to, like I said, look into it in today's in today's lenses and stuff like that. Like Red Dragon, I think Red Dragon was like the only good sequel. I think it was a prequel. Um, to this was the only good, Silence of the Lambs movie or Hannibal movie. Uh, but yeah, definitely Silence of the Lambs. I also I what's her name? Jodie Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster. Yeah, I think she plays a great character. Like she really carries on the movie really good. Um, and you could say this is a movie that was ahead of its time too, man. A lot of these movies. That's why, like I said, it's always great um, rewatching certain movies, and I think that's why it's gained quite a cult following, and I think why it still holds up to date. Like a lot of these classics, because I think this is a great. Like I said, it's not the typical killer. This is like psychological thriller. And like I said, as we grow and mature, those types of movies we look more forward to. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Silence of the Lambs classic for sure. Uh, have you seen the Leprechaun movies? Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I've seen the Leprechaun movies. Not the biggest fan of the series, but of course, it's always one of those background movies. Silly movies, dumb movies. So yeah, but the character for sure, the Leprechaun's always gotta he's always gotta be up in there in the mix with the rest of the characters and stuff like that. I'm surprised I don't even have a mask. Like I actually have, like before, like in the past, I have looked into getting a leprechaun mask. But like I said, the movies, I know Jennifer Aniston is in the first one. I think she like despises it or something like that. Well, not anymore. I think at one point she did. I think she was like kind of embarrassed about it, which I understand. I understand. You know. Quick second, you guys. I definitely understand, man. you know, especially as an especially as an up and coming actress, man, in the Hollywood scene, for sure. Uh, oh yeah, for sure, man. Phantasm underrated, definitely underrated. Um, it's one of the Phantasm is another one of those movies that really should have just been the first one. I think the first one's definitely a classic movie, man. The Tall Man, definitely one that I gotta rewatch. But yeah, fantastic. Like I said, most of the sequels kind of were weak. They weren't as great, but definitely the first one, man, is where it's at. Slasher 70, 78, 81. Yo, what's up, man? What's up, man? Just here chilling, man, going through some of these movies. Of course, man, I just gave you guys my thoughts on the Silence of the Lambs. If you haven't seen this movie in a while, go rewatch it, like when you can, because hey, like I said, it's one of those movies that definitely, you could say take some time to catch on. Like I said, when I first watched this as a kid, I was kind of turned off by it because I was expecting Hannibal, uh, to be this killer, man. Like I thought Hannibal was like a slasher, like a slasher killer. But of course, man, he's locked up throughout the movie. Of course, at the end, or towards the end, he does manage to escape, which is great scene. I love that scene. um or not really escape, but of course before it leads to his death. But I think that's what Red Dragon is for, right? The prequel. Don't really recall those, man. I really don't. This is where it's at for me. And also I think there's another one, Hannibal. I think those he is a little bit more of like a. I think the sequel. I could be mistaken. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong. I think some of those sequels they do treat Hannibal a little bit more like a slasher killer. Uh, like I said, I know one of them is a prequel or something, but. But yeah, this one, great movie. It's grown on me. Most definitely, man. Aaliyah, Aaliyah Productions. What's up? What's up, man? Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Definitely hope you guys are having a chill Monday, man. Hope you guys are staying cool, man. Staying cool in the summer. Um, so yeah, man. Like I said, probably after the don't got really got much going on today. Might pop in a movie on Tubi or something. But what's up, porn star? Yo, what's up, man? We got another. Definitely got another one of my regulars in here. What's up, man? What's up? Glad you tuned in. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm glad you tuned in, man, because the last movie I'm gonna show is a movie I think we talked about on the last live stream that I did rewatch. And yeah, actually it's the next movie before this one. So yeah, man. So here's the next movie, The Howling. Definitely, I watched this movie like one night, man. The Howling. It's not, again, not the biggest fan when it comes to you know, uh, uh, dumb werewolf movies and stuff like that. When it comes to werewolf movies, American Werewolf in London is where it's at. Probably the best one. But right behind that one, man, The Howling for sure. I think you got D Wallace is in this. Not I think I know D Wallace is in this. Yeah, man, definitely. Of course, she also had she's a star. Like she's been her career all over the place, great, you know, but she's also had her time in horror, Howling, a lot of other classics for sure. And I think she's definitely one of those. Like I said, I don't really consider Dee Wallace a specifically like a horror actress like other of our great scream queens, right? Because like I said, Dee Wallace, she's done E.T., she's done this other shit, so she's bigger than that. But she still, I think, is one of like she's definitely like a scream queen, definitely one of the faces when it comes to scream queens in the horror genre. But Howling, man, the original, like I said, I feel it doesn't really hold that same weight as American Werewolf in London, but I think as it definitely stands on it holds its own weight, man, for sure. One thing I've always admired about this film, even though some people might see it as a complete, rip off to American Werewolf in London, is like, the transformation. I remember watching like the transformation scene in The Howling, like that scene alone, like as a kid, and it's always stuck on to me. I never knew what movie was it from, but of course, once time goes on, you kind of catch on to things, but yeah, this one for sure. Always, like I said, if you're not the biggest fan of werewolf movies, definitely at least try this one out. At least give this one a chance. I think it's worth the watch. Oh shit! Especially since, like I said, Dee Wallace is in it. I think she carries it on pretty good, man. Kind of slow paced it at certain points, but it's definitely a good film, man. Definitely a good film. So yeah, man, for sure. Yo, Grim, yo, what's up, man? Yo, what's up? Hope you guys are doing good, man. Definitely appreciate. I feel like it's definitely more active today. All different type of people joining in. More than I've seen, like, of course, my regulars, which is great, but also like other new. I don't think I've seen some of these, like, what's his name, Butthead or something. Yeah, man. I mean, I appreciate all of you guys, man, for sure. Grim, for sure, man. Definitely recognizable. That's a cool. Look up Tom Devon's Monster Museum. I possibly have heard of it. But I definitely will look into it, man. Yeah, I definitely have seen quite different museums, man. Like different kind of cool shit where it's definitely like, oh, like definitely will have to step in there, but yeah, Probably if I look it up, it's probably one that I've seen. But yeah, man, a lot of good shit, man. There's a lot of good shit I like to see, on Instagram. A lot of people, man, who definitely dedicate, you know, their time and effort, their work and everything, their money, their hard earned money, uh, into projects like these, like museums. I think it's definitely, you could say, a way to express, as a fan. Not just that, but also, as a hobby, it's, you're like passionate about it. Like that's definitely, like, if I had the bread, if I had the money, I would definitely do some shit like that, man. Like inspiring. Like I think that's great shit. I definitely like to see shit like that. Especially artists, and people who like definitely have pride in their work. And you could definitely tell. You could definitely tell. I'm kind of bad with names, dude. I'm kind of bad with names, but there's definitely quite a few, man. There's definitely quite a few that I have come across, like on YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's always great. It's always a great thing. The museum is in Boulder City. Boulder City. I'm not too familiar. I'm not really too familiar. Boulder City. Uh, but yeah, man, it's always scattered throughout. It's always scattered throughout the state. Of course, it's worldwide. Definitely got all type of shit worldwide. We don't really have too much, like museum. There's actually like not like major ones. It's mostly like little shops. They do call it a museum. They do have a quite nice, quite a nice, some good shit. Like I think, like the closest one to me, I think it's called I'm bad with names. Mustit, starts with an M, something museum. It's like 20-30 minutes away, but it's more like a shop. It's mostly like a little shop. But they do have a lot of dope shit. Like they had, I don't think I ever made a video in there. I don't think so. I think I probably posted it on my Instagram. But they have like a lot of cool shit. Like they had like a life size, like their main standouts to me. They had a life size, you know, poster of Sleepaway Camp. Like like obviously it's not a poster. It was actually like a prop of the actual shoe from the poster with the knife. Uh, what was it? The Adidas shoe, the Converse shoe. They literally had that prop in like their window. I thought that was like the dopest shit ever. Like that's definitely, as a fan, I feel like that's an achievement. You know what I mean? As a collector. Uh, but yeah, they had like, the actual prop of like the knife and the shoe from Sleepaway Camp in like their window. Like once you go in to this little shop museum, uh, they also had like a life size Candyman, which was pretty dope, man. I think it really resembled, Tony Todd. Um, I think they also had like the bees around him, like how it was in the movie. But yeah, man. Also, the other standout they had like a prop, which, like I said, a lot of this shit as a fan, it's definitely like an achievement, man. It's definitely like something you definitely would love to own, But yeah, they had like a life size, young Jason from the first Friday the 13th, of course. At the end when he comes out from the lake, like one of the classic endings of all time. Um, they had like that prop of Jason, and then like they had like a little boat prop with the Crystal Lake sign or something like that. Pretty sick, pretty sick. Like I said, I think each museum, each shops, each have their own greatness, man. And like I said, it's really great seeing like that, seeing stuff like that, and you look at the workers there, man, the owners or whatever. They look like they're your regular horror fans. So I think it's even better when like across the street from there, man, from that museum. It's 20, 30 minutes away, more like 20, from my house, man. Right across the street from that museum. Uh, it's kind of a recent store. It's not really a store. It's a rent store. Like, you guys know, man, video rent. You know, extinct. They've been extinct for like the past 10 years. You know, they really don't have that no more. I mean, of course, they have little shops scattered throughout the states. I think for sure, most definitely, little shops like this one. Like I said, it's kind of recent. Um, I went in there, man, a couple months ago, and you know, they definitely, like, I thought it was a DVD shop. Like, they had like so many damn titles. Like, I kind of knew it was a rental shop, but I kind of still thought you could buy, you know, you could buy some movies. But they literally, man, they literally had like every horror movie, every Scream Factory, you name it, in alphabetical order once you enter the store. But it's a rent shop, and I'm like, you know, what are your prices? And they actually don't. They don't sell those any of those films. They do have like a certain section, certain shelf, you know, with DVDs that are on sale, but it's usually the typical stuff, you know, regular stuff we see. But I was really surprised, man, walking into that little store and seeing like all these Screen Factory releases, rare releases that, you know, you don't see too often, you know. Um, yeah, like every movie, like literally, you name it. Uh, but my point is that, like, the owner or whoever owns it, the worker there, when I've been there, if he's the owner, like, this dude is like literally like, that's like his collection. Like, he's definitely, you know, passionate enough to, you know, start this little business. And I think, like I said, I think it's always like inspiring. It's great, you know. Even talking with the dude, man, it's like literally talking to a horror fan. Like, you know, it's always great, you know, even though there it was like two times I've been in there, and even though the two times I leave empty handed, it's always great going in there. Looking, they don't they have like old school collectibles, you name it, man. Definitely a lot of, you know, older classic stuff, you know, collectibles, figures, uh VHSs, you name it, for sure. And yeah, man, but it's great. It's great. I think that's when, like I said, I think that's definitely a great thing to do. Like, I would do that. Like, you know, if I had, like I said, if I had the money, definitely start something, uh, something where, you know, everyone could, you know, share it. You know, like, as for example, like a video rent store, a museum, stuff like that. You know, like I said, it's always great seeing stuff like that, for sure, man. And I tripped out, man. I definitely tripped out because, like I said, video rental stores have been extinct since more than 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago already. uh, and I was quite surprised, you know. I was like, obviously, it's a small store. It's not a big store, nothing like that. Like I said, it's run by one dude, I think. At least one dude works there. Uh, and yeah, it was great. It's great. Like I said, even though I've been there, have didn't come out with nothing. Um, it's always great just walking through there, man. You know, seeing a lot of this old school, uh, memorable stuff. You know, vintage stuff. Um, for sure, man. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that's, you could say, one of the main misconceptions of the original Friday. You know, a lot of people, you know, tend to say Jason's not in it, but he technically is, you know. But yeah, man, I just think that ending from that original Friday the 13th, like I said, the original Friday the 13th doesn't fall in like my top list at all. Like, I don't even think it's in my top five. Maybe, yeah. I think, yeah. I think it's in my top five. Yeah. but it's not like my top three, let's say, you know. But it's like just that ending alone, definitely it's always as you know rewatchable for me, you know. Um, it's not like I watch it every so and often, but it's always like every time I tend to watch it, like it always gravitates me more to watch it because it's really like, and I've said it before, I don't consider Friday the 13th like a classic like that, like I feel it's definitely it's a cult classic just because it started this big franchise, right? But as a movie, there's definitely um like some of those sequels were definitely way better than uh than the first movie. And I know a lot of you guys definitely um there's a lot of fans I've seen that actually do love the original more than the sequels, which is good, which is great because of course, it's the one that set the tone, right? The 1980 film. I remember, dude, when I first wanted to watch Friday the 13th, the original, as a kid. I remember, of course, I was already introduced to Freddy versus Jason. I was still a kid, 10 years old or less, or younger. After watching Freddy versus Jason, I always wanted, the main goal after that was to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, the Friday movies. And when I came across to watching the Friday, picked out the DVD, right? But I think I had my dad with me, and they literally did not sell it. They did not sell the movie to me, even though, like I said, I was a kid. But they definitely had to advise the parent, um, about the movie. It is rated R, the whole talk, and of course, it. I did not end up watching Friday the 13th until later. Another familiar story. I remember this time I was alone though. I was still underage though, for sure. I was I think I was like 15 or something. Uh, they did not sell me Hellraiser at the DVD store, and they did not sell me. I think they did not sell me the original Scream. No, I think it was in the same store. It's crazy, dude. Like, I don't even know if they still do that. Like, I really doubt it. Like if someone who looks underage goes to a horror movie, goes to the store, buy a horror movie, you know, and the cashier, whatever, asks for ID because it's a rated R movie. Like, that's definitely happened to me, man, for sure. It's definitely happened to me. Uh, but it's weird because I think it depends the person too. Some people don't really care. Um, some people, tend to, you know, follow procedures or whatever the case may be, with their job, which is understandable, But I always found that damn strange, you know. And I remember in Best Buy, I would always buy. As I'm talking as an underage kid, I would always buy DVDs, horror movies at Best Buy. They would never ask for it there. There was a few times they asked for it at Walmart. You know, yeah, for sure. I definitely do remember that. Like if you guys pay attention, like if you guys go to Walmart at all or something, if you guys buy a rated R movie and they scan it, the little the little where it gives you the price, where they scan it and the little screen where the price comes out. Once they scan the movie, I always notice when I buy a movie, they scan it and then like I guess before it's done scanning, it kind of asks, is customer under 18 or something like that. Pretty much asking for an ID. So yeah, Walmart at one point started doing that. Obviously not anymore, Uh, but yeah, man, even at this certain DVD store, which is a used DVD store, uh, I bought Hellraiser on DVD for the first time. They now sell it to me. Uh, if I didn't have idea, if I didn't have an ID on me, with me, and you know what I did, man? I literally, the next person that walked into that store, I asked the dude, "Hey, man, please do me the favor, go in there. Here's the money. Pick me out the Hellraiser DVD, the original. I was specific." Uh, and yeah, the dude came out. The dude came out, man. The dude came out with the Hell. He hooked it up for sure. Definitely a story I won't ever forget. Still have the DVD. I think it's like the 25th anniversary DVD of the original Hellraiser. Uh, but yeah, man. But like I said, it's weird because before I bought that Hellraiser DVD, I had bought in the Scream Blu-ray, and I think when I bought that Scream Blu-ray, they didn't even ask for it. You know, like I said, I think it's always depending the person, man. Depending, like I said, people actually are trying to do their job, which of course, like I said, it's it's obligated. You know, when you're in that position, you know, whatever you sell, you're in the liquor, in the store, in the market, buying alcohol or whatever. You're buying anything that acquires an ID. Of course, that's part of the procedure, part of your job, right? But I would always bug out and trip out, man, like over a freaking movie, like, you know. But that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, little stuff like that, little stories like that have always like stood out to me as a collector, as a DVD, because like I said, man, I'm glad I was able to like live in those last times of like Blockbuster, for example. I'm glad I was able to experience, when physical media, DVDs in particular, Blu-rays in particular, were still kind of an exciting thing. And I think that's where my passion comes from when it comes to Blu-rays and collecting, Most definitely. So it's always a trip. Um it doesn't, porn star, it doesn't. It really doesn't get enough credit. Uh like I said, it set the tone. I understand it's a complete ripoff. Sean Cunningham has said it himself, man. He started Friday, like he had this title, Friday the 13th, which was like the best title ever, right? But he literally had no movie. He had no story, And like I said, after watching Halloween, they were trying to do family movies, but since America wanted to watch movies like Halloween, that's where the money was at. That's when Friday came into play, and a lot of movies like The Burning, My Bloody Valentine, and all different types of slasher movies, and Nightmare on Elm Street, which you could consider, but I feel that was more like in the later time. But yeah, it's still, like I said, I admire it. I respect it for what it is. Kind of like I said, a weaker film. I definitely do like some of those sequels a little more, but it still holds its own. It holds its own. It really does. Like I know, like something about, like I said, it might be a weaker film as far as pasting, as far as like you know pasting, story, but something about that, slow, you could say vintage, atmosphere, cinematography, like it feels like you're in for one. It feels like you're in for one compared to those sequels. The sequels definitely have that as well, but I feel like the sequels, it was more, I wouldn't say they overdid it, but they had more fun with it. It's a slasher movie. They made it more, within the sequels. Once the sequels went on, it's like, let's see how many dead bodies we could drop more. You know what I mean? And in the first one, in the first Friday, it was somewhat like that, but like I said, it was slow paced. Some of the kills were, it wasn't like kill, but some of those kills were actually, kind of clever. That's one of the main things I love from the original Friday are some of the kills, other than you know the ending, of course, other than Pamela Voorhees, other than other than all that. For sure, the kills is definitely like they're simple. Like like especially when you watch it now, the original Friday, you watch some of those kills and they might not seem as big, as major, as surprising. you know like if you watch it now, people, you could kind of get that feeling like, oh, we've seen that before, of course. But for the first Friday movie, pretty good, pretty good. uh but yeah, man, for sure, I definitely agree, though. Definitely, I feel like people don't really talk about it too much, and you're right. You're definitely right, now that I really think about it. For sure, that's a jump scare at the end. Yeah, man, you know what? Yeah, that was jump scare. That was, jump scare before jump scares were a thing. Of course, that became part of the tradition, especially with modern movies, jump scares and stuff like that. Oh, dude, they still have them. They still have them in movies these days. But man, I remember in the 2000s, man, 2010s, it really got to that point, man. That's what they were focusing on more. Jump scares with a lot of movies. But yeah, that ending, dude, that ending where Jason comes out of the lake, out of the water, definitely was ahead of its time, man. Like I said, it was a jump scare before a jump scare was a thing. I heard there was gonna be. You know what, Butthead? Yeah, me too. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I did kind of hear, like, in the last week about a new Nightmare movie, but like I said, it's I think, like I said, for a few years now, I heard Blumhouse was secretly, you know, on the low key, secretly trying to get the rights to Nightmare, or they probably secretly already have the rights. Um, because yeah, I mean, even though nothing has been confirmed yet, it's all been like speculation, online stuff. It always goes back to that narrative: Blumhouse, Nightmare on Elm Street, Blumhouse, Nightmare on Elm Street. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. Like Blumhouse, like I heard they're gonna start bringing in more. Like I think My Bloody Valentine is also, they're doing a remake over there. Ah, man, I don't know, but I do agree. I have mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings about it too. Blumhouse. I hope it's not true, though. I really hope it's not true, man. Like I said, as much as we love Freddy and we love these movies, man, just leave it in the past. Just leave it. Like we have these movies we love and we admire. We No need to, ruin the reputation no more, like they did with Myers. Like, really, like Halloween Ends definitely ruined his reputation, his image, and that's why I feel Myers is like. That's why we haven't heard about a new Halloween movie, because of the downhill ride it went. But like I said, man, with Nightmare on Elm Street, as much as I love Freddy, man, and it's been years, I don't know. I just rather them leave it alone. But yeah, I heard about it. I definitely have heard about it. Like I said, I don't think nothing's confirmed. It's all talk. It's all speculation. Like I said, since like 2020, dude. I think even since after 2018 came out, they've been saying Halloween 2018. I'm to be exact. They've been saying about they might get the rights to Nightmare. And like I said, I know the rights were like up for sale. They were negotiating the rights, like like secretly and stuff like that, trying to see what company is gonna go with the Craven estate. Of course, they're trying to negotiate, trying to see what's gonna be better. What's the better move for the franchise. I'm sure with the Wes Craven estate, like New Line Cinema, Warner Bros, whoever, I feel like they're definitely in no rush to drop a new Nightmare. Blumhouse for sure is in no rush. But I think the West, at least I'm hoping the Wes Craven estate really, really, negotiates right, man, and negotiates wisely before, you know, either Blumhouse or whoever's gonna pick it up before they let it go, before they, you know, sign off. And this is what we're gonna do. I really hope they choose wisely, because like I said, it is kind of, risky bringing movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy back, Jason back as a movie. But regardless, sooner or later we're gonna get something, TV show, movie. Would definitely have to see what happens, man. Me personally, I kind of see, like, without even thinking about it, like without getting too complicated, I honestly see a TV show for most of these franchise, to keep it a buck with you guys. Uh, and I hate to say it, but I feel that's my natural instinct telling me, man. Like, whatever they do, like, obviously, yeah, of course, like with Nightmare, we could have a movie by Blumhouse, major studio release, major release, like The Exorcist was, the Halloween was. Obviously, not good critically, but it's gonna do numbers. It's gonna be up there. It might be forgotten about, like the 2010 remake, or if we want to talk more specific, we want to, based on Blumhouse resume, Exorcist Believer, for example, it'll come in and go, it'll come in and go, But like I said, I really hope, man, especially with Freddy, Jason, they choose wisely, man. They know what, especially because I believe Wes Craven's kids. I think he has like a son and daughter. Um, they own. I think they're behind the estate. Of course, that's what their father, left behind. Of course, rest in peace. Um, it's a trip, man. The other day, man, I was watching like like news clips of like, of course, the news announcing Wes Craven's death back in 2015. Which is definitely sad, man. I remember that day. I definitely remember that day. Such a bummer, man. I remember being like bummed out the whole day. I was in, I think, seventh grade. I was in the seventh grade, I think. I was getting ready for school, man, in the morning. And yeah, that's when I heard the news. As a kid, getting ready for school, I was bummed out, dude. I definitely was bummed out. And like I said, just the other day, I was on YouTube. I was kind of like, you know, looking at different like Wes Craven stuff, and then I ended up watching like some of the news reports. Uh, but yeah, man, it's definitely a major loss, man. Rest in peace, man. For sure, horror master, one of the horror masters. That's a great question, you guys. And I actually thought about it, but I don't know if we should get into it right now. Maybe for another one. Maybe for another one. But yeah, man. If I know you guys probably heard about the new Nightmare Blumhouse is secretly working on. Definitely let me know what you guys think. Like I said, you guys know what I feel. We've talked about it not too long ago. I did a live stream too, where I specifically talked about, what I would like to see for a new Nightmare movie, for a modern movie, or what I think at least would work for a modern Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So you guys can go check that out if you like. But yeah, man, definitely let me know what you guys think about these rumors or whatever it is, man. Blumhouse, Nightmare on Elm Street, the innovation, elevation. Yeah, man, for sure. Definitely all about elevation. Only time will tell, man. Definitely only time will tell. Oh yeah, for sure. I understand. You know what, porn star, with games, it's more understandable. Like since a kid, even with my brother, I kind of have seen it as well. Like they would always, like, if it wasn't with a parent, uh, like they would all like, or if even when he was with a parent, they would always tell the parent, you know, are you sure? Kind of like what they did, with me. They with the Friday DVD. They were telling my dad, they were telling my pop, are you sure this movie's rated R? It contains nudity. It contains all this shit. Say like whatever. What is it with the games? Rated M for mature or some shit like that. Yeah, same thing. But I feel with games, it's a little bit more normal. It's a little bit more regular. Of course, man, video games, became violent. They became, all this stuff. And of course, those are the selling games, right? Those are the where it's at. So yeah, it's even happened to me. It's even happened to me. It's even happened to me as a kid in the game store. Buying the early Call of Duty Black Ops or whatever. For sure. But yeah, man. But like I said, I feel when it comes to games, it's a little bit more like, okay. But with movies, it's strange. It's definitely strange. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for a movie, it's like what, like I really, it's unexpected. It's definitely unexpected. They definitely haven't tried that shit with me ever since I turned 18. That's for damn sure. But like I said, man, some people don't care. Whatever, they just press yes or whatever Walmart system has, whatever the hell Walmart their system shows up or whatever. uh the body count continues. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. That's what the Fridays are for. Most definitely, that's what the Fridays are for. And I'm all in for it, dude. I love them. Part four was funny when he threw the girl out of the window onto the car. Oh yeah, man. This just the slow motion, or yeah, I don't know. It's just like a lot of silly shit. A lot of silly shit in the series. A lot of laugh. Like I said, when you look at it from today's perspective, a lot of that shit is laughable. Like a lot of that shit really is. You know, um, yeah, and maybe you could say that's why people, at least the main audience, the regular audience, don't take horror movies, slasher movies, to be particular, as serious. Yeah, yeah, dude. I've always said that. You know, I think they're better off dead. I think they're better off dead. No disrespect, of course. But yeah, I think they're better off dead, dude. I think they're better off dead, my guys. And they're not dead. They're not dead, guys. They're the Freddy, Jason, even though they haven't been as consistent with movies and good stuff like that, they're still well and alive, man, for sure. But yeah, man, and I think that's all that matters. We have those original films to revisit, and to definitely appreciate. They both had, yeah, yeah, and I think that was the issue, porn star, with both franchises. It was too soon, especially off of Freddy versus Jason, dude. Freddy versus Jason, like it was like literally the most successful from both franchises. So they definitely dropped the ball on that one. It's sad, yeah, man. It's sad. Like I said, I think we're at a point, even though, like I said, as far as movies, like, as of lately, in a violent nature, Late Night with the Devil. You know, a lot of good other ones like Maxine. Hoping it's good. Um, what was the other one? Abigail. I still haven't seen it. Uh, like they're doing their thing. Might not be great films, like in a violent nature. Um, but they're still definitely they're still trying to. It's better doing that. It's better doing that than bringing, and messing up, iconic properties like The Crow. All this shit. All this shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny. It's laughable. I think they're gonna for sure try to bring it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Porn star. That's what I think personally, dude. Like I said, without thinking about it, just my natural instinct, my natural gut tells me I could see a TV show for three of them: Michael, Jason, Freddy. Uh, really, man. Like I said, that's where I think it has headed to. That's if they're wise. I feel if they're wise. Like I said, I feel like if they, for sure, a movie would do numbers. No doubt about that. I'm not saying if they do a movie, it's not gonna be successful. Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. But it really, it really, I don't know. But yeah, I think a TV show is like the obvious answer. But yeah, all right, guys. So I got one last movie. I got one last movie. I did not forget. But yeah, man. I saved the. I don't even want to say I saved the best for last. Porn star, definitely like we mentioned on my last live stream. We were talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You recommended me, man. Somehow we ended up talking about the damn Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You ended up, because I think we were talking about how shitty those movies are, right? And you recommended me, man, to revisit the next generation. And like I said, man, I have not seen this damn movie since I bought it at the DVD store as a freaking kid. That night, I bought this film and I bought Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Bought them the same night. I watched them back to back that night. Really liked the second one. Pretty damn good sequel. As a yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I was gonna say as a follow up to the original, not as great of a sequel, but as its own thing, it's a great sequel. But that's that. I don't mean to. I'm literally jumping back and forth. But the next generation, man. I took your, I took your consideration, man. I actually watched it that damn night. That damn night of the live stream. I did a little research before watching this. I guess this dude, what's his name? Matthew McConaughey. He's like one of the biggest stars, right? Well, this dude right here, of course, you could say what carried on the movie. And now that I'm rewatching it, very much agree so. And I think this chick as well, these were big stars. Or no, of course not at that time, but of course, once, I think they filmed it first, and then they had starred in other movies, bigger movies. I can't really recall. But they became stars. They were stars by the time they were ready to release this damn movie. Well, check it out, man. Like I said, I haven't rewatched. I hated it since I watched it for the one and only time. I haven't really changed my thoughts on it. I still think it's kind of a shit movie, but like I mentioned earlier, I think it was interesting rewatching it. It was definitely interesting. Like I really sat there, man. I really sat through the whole movie, and it really was a trip. Like, and the reason I feel the reason I took your consideration, porn star, in rewatching this movie. I On a regular day I wouldn't bother watching a shit movie like this. But the reason I took your consideration is because, of course, for the past you know past 10 years, um past 15 years, we really haven't gotten any good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. And like I said, compared to the latest ones, the Netflix one, then the Leatherface one, such dog shit movies that it kind of, like I said, made me give this movie another chance. Like I said, I was like, maybe it's not as bad as the Netflix one. That was literally my motivation to watching this movie, is comparing it to the latest ones. Terrible ass movies. So I sat through it, man. What I got from this, like I said, it's definitely a weird ass movie. It's definitely like I said, I think it's still kind of shit. It's a crap movie, but it really, like, I really, got some, like, it really, like, if you really pick out certain things from the movie, it's like, especially for the time, like, it's pretty freaking interesting. I got the whole, Leatherface in this movie is probably the worst Leatherface. This is probably the worst Leatherface from the whole series. But and that's one of the main reasons I never cared about it, because Leatherface, didn't really care for it. His whole Pretty Woman look, didn't care for it. Um, but I got that out of the way, and I was still able to watch this movie. And like I said, I think Matthew McCogney, I'm probably butchering his name. He definitely carries on the movie. Definitely great performance, man. Like I said, he plays like this crazy ass killer, and like I said, I feel this guy was the star more than the freaking Leatherface. Like really, like it's crazy. Would you guys consider this kind of like a Halloween Ends, as far as like despising the killer, Leatherface? You know, Leatherface would literally get emotional whenever like something bad would happen to this dude, or like, you know what I mean. But this guy was a star. Let's admit it. Leatherface, he was like a background character. Not really a background, but he was like a side or something, But this dude, man, Matthew McCogney, pretty sick bastard he plays, man. I definitely carried on the movie. Like I said, some of the kills were pretty. They were all right, And the movie, of course, it starts off like with these kids, teenagers, the prom or whatever. They go through this shit. They go through, they find the house. They come across Matthew, and of course, all hell breaks loose after that. But you know what? You know what I really, you could say, liked about it? It feels weird saying liked about it, because I really did not. I still don't like it. But it was an interesting watch. Like I said, it was pretty much my second time watching it. But what I really, you could say, did like about it is the whole, TV. Like, it feels like a straight to TV movie, for sure. And this was a theatrical release, if I'm not mistaken. Well, yeah, we got two of the biggest stars at the time, right? And I know this release was kind of a complicated. Like I said, I did a little bit of research on this. There's also a little documentary that I actually do recommend it. I think because this movie was originally called The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I believe the same. What's his name? I know his name should be right around here. I can't. Kim Henkel. Kim Henkel, who wrote and directed this movie. I think he also worked on the original movie. So this was his like comeback to the series. Like one of the original creators was gonna come back for the fourth film. You know, because of course the last two they didn't really like it as at that time. You know, obviously wasn't as good as the original. Well, with this one, pretty much they wanted to go back to that original movie, right? The original title was The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like I said, there's a pretty cool documentary, which I think the documentary is a little bit. There's a comment on that documentary on that. If you guys look it up, The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre documentary. It's pretty much the making behind the scenes of this movie. There's a comment in that video on that documentary, a YouTube comment that says, and I very much agree. So, and that says that this freaking documentary is like more creepier and more disturbing than the actual freaking movie, and I very much agree. So, like watching that little documentary, definitely quite a watch. Definitely go check that out. But yeah, man, Kim Henkel, the director, definitely. Like I said, it kind of had like problems coming out. I think it was released in '94. It originally was released in '94, but then I think in '96 or '97, a few years after, it was re-released. Of course, once these guys were superstars, they took advantage. Like I said, I really do like that TV, like that low budget TV style movie. Like I think it really adds on to it. It adds on to like the the Texas, low budget creepiness. Uh, like I said, a lot of weird unnecessary shit. Um, but I definitely that's what I got out of the movie. I like the style. I like the low budget. I think they work really good. Like I said, it was a theatrical release movie, but it definitely feels like you're straight to TV, like a TV movie. And it pretty much was. I think it was intended to be shot like that. I think these guys they were on a budget, dude. They were on a budget. It's a sequel. It's a sequel. Come on. So of course, they try to make their best. But like I said, man, it was cool. It was interesting. It was cool rewatching it. A lot of shit you could pick up on. Like I said, a lot of shit that they kind of code in here that people are barely starting to catch up on these days. Or in the past couple of years or whatever. Like it really like has that connection, and you could say that's what kind of connect us more to this movie, um compared to like the other sequels. Part two, it's a fun, cheesy sequel, campy sequel, whatever. But this one, of course, it kind of hints. Even the director Kim even talked about it, you know necessarily say he intended for the family to be connected, with the upper hand or whatever, um with the Illuminati, pretty much. um he didn't really confirm it, but he for sure it's coded in there. Some people run with it. Some people despise the whole theory because some people, some people just don't. They're not conspiracy people or whatever they call themselves. So they don't really, you know, touch on that too much. But I think just by them teasing us, by them, giving us a hint, I think it's still it adds more to it. It adds more to the creepiness, and I think if I personally think if a lot of the sequels, maybe in a new movie, this could possibly work too. Not necessarily, you know, not necessarily being a fact that the Hewitt family or whoever is part of that. If they would have done that, with some of the sequels, they probably could have been more interesting, to be honest. Because, yeah, this is way different than the other ones. Definitely has something that the others don't. Each sequel is has their own shit, Um, but yeah, man, it was a trip though. It was definitely a trip. Like I said, I really wouldn't have taken the time, man. It was one of those first watch and done with it. But yeah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, man, definitely let me know. Let me know what you guys think. The next generation. I wish I think if they would have, they should have stuck to that title. Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Kind of seems cliche. I know at that time. I know at that time that was like the typical. That was like the typical title for a sequel, right? Return of the Living Dead, Return of this and that, Return of the Fly, Return of Frankenstein. Of course. But yeah, I do like that title though. Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know. I just think it's better than like Next Generation. I understand this is obviously the next generation in the Hewitt or whatever it is. I think there's still the Hewitts in this one. But yeah, man. I mean, it was ahead of its time. This is a movie ahead of its time. I think that's why I've seen it's grown a cult following. Like, if you look at some of the behind the scene footage on YouTube, if you look at even some movie reviews on this movie, people defend it. Like, it has its fan base, no doubt about it. But yeah, man. Love the Roy Burns. He's underrated. Yo, man, appreciate it, Snowy. Yeah, I agree. Roy Burns. I love Roy Burns. I love Part 5. I was going to rewatch it last night, dude. I was going to rewatch Part 5. I love Part 5. I'm always rewatching Part 5. He's underrated. I think Roy Burns gets a lot of shit. I understand he's a copycat, but hey, man. It's still a good movie. I was actually watching like a little piece of like, I don't know if it was a documentary. Uh but I pretty much watched like the Part 5 segment, right? And they were saying how Part 5 has like the worst reputation as far as like, you know, I wouldn't say with the nudity, but like with some of the dirty jokes. I think the director, one of the writers mentioned Part 5 has one of the worst like dark humor, you know, in horror movies of all time, like as far as the jokes. But of course now it ain't a lot of that shit ain't nothing. But at that time, they feel the audience wasn't ready for a movie like Part 5. So that's why I feel like a lot of people, or that's why they feel it didn't really sit well in a lot of people. I think Part 5 could possibly had more nudity. Like, it was definitely different than the previous Fridays. Um, yeah, for sure. No, yeah, man, for sure. Nothing. Yeah, yeah. The original definitely feels realistic. You know, the original Texas feels more realistic than a lot of slasher movies, horror movies in general. Time to Kill. Yeah, man. Yeah, Matthew. I always have to look at the name. Matthew McConaughey. He's definitely like, and I feel, of course, since he became the star, people admire this movie more because of him, and yeah, there's definitely like I think it could be the movie with Samuel Jackson. He's like, I don't know if he plays like an attorney or something like in the court, but yeah, he's definitely a major star, man, a major star, and he actually does acknowledge this movie. I think at one point, man, I think they try to like they trying to, of course, as an actor when they're starting off, um, certain movies could pigeonhole you. Certain movies could like typecast or whatever. And of course, from what I heard, from what I've seen, um, being cast in a horror movie definitely was not the greatest idea, especially if you're trying to start a career in Hollywood. Um, Even his agents and his people were trying to stop this movie from coming out because they didn't want to, you could say, ruin his image. Of course, he had blown up, this megastar. They didn't want to ruin his image, his reputation or whatever. For a movie like this to come out, crazy ass Matthew McConaughey, like, yeah, but definitely didn't really change nothing. He still went on, became a bigger star. So yeah, man, yeah. But I did hear that originally they were trying to his people were trying to stop the movie from coming out. It's funny. Definitely is funny. Um, yeah, but he I think he's talked about it in interviews. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, porn star. You know what? Now that I think about it, like I said, this one was in my worst, in my list. This one was the worst one. I'm not sure if I'll place it. You know what? Yeah, that's a major update, you guys. As much as shit as this movie is, as much as I still dislike it a lot, as much as I dislike a lot of shit about this movie, I definitely think I like it more than the 3D, or than the not 3D, than the Netflix. Than the Netflix. Yeah, that movie. Yeah, I honestly rather, on a bad day, I rather watch this. Yeah. Leatherface 2017. I think so too, man. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. This might pass it, dude. Really. Yeah, dude. I'm keeping it a bug. Like I said, Leatherface is another one that I only watched like twice, and I never looked back at it. But there's vivid memories of that shit that I don't. I can't see myself sitting through it. Like I set myself through this because, like I said, there's a few excuses here. Old school, it's 90s still. Okay, that's a pass. Uh, the TV movie style. Okay, cool. You know. Oh yeah, yeah, dude. 2013. I think that's where it might stop. Possibly. Possibly. That one might need a little bit thinking, man. Does it? I don't know. 2013, the 3D has issues. It's terrible. It has a lot of issues. I'm stuck. But for sure, this is gonna go higher than this one was my worst one. If you look at my ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this one was always the worst one. And yeah, but it's passed. It's went up 2 movies, guys. I'm gonna do an update. You know what? I know I've ranked a lot of the horror franchises. I've ranked a lot of the horror franchises on the channel, but I might redo them with my updated version, with my updated opinion, with my updated ranking, but as shorts, as YouTube shorts. So I won't have to do like a whole video. You know, like I said, I've ranked most of these franchises, but quite some time ago. Like I said, time changes, opinion changes, we mature as audience. Whatever I was saying earlier. uh, uh, but yeah, I might do that. Yeah, yeah. But this for sure went up on the list for sure. They was just trying to send us a message. Yeah, yeah, for sure, porn star. Yeah, and like I said, even the directors did speak on it. I think he has like an interview, and yeah, man. And I think it's all delivering the message. I think that's what movies are for. The entertainment is for. Um, yeah, you know. But the thing about this one, though, porn star, is that this was in a time. This was in a time where you could say it wasn't really talked about. It wasn't really. Obviously, there was the conspiracy theorists at this time that obviously, didn't necessarily believe in the whole JFK shit. And at that time, there could have been people who you know, they understood this shit, um, and they knew at the time. But since a lot of this shit is like, a lot of the shit they coded in here, a lot of shit they try to message here is like relevant in a lot of the entertainment today. Like it's crazy. So that's why you guys, if you haven't seen it, or if you hate this movie like I do, I don't hate it. I dislike it. Um, uh, uh, Rewatch it, dude. It's shit. I know. Have a beer if you can. If you wanna, you know, capture every minute, everything about this movie. Have a beer, man. Chill and watch it, man. You know, because it's definitely it's worth it. Like it was worth it. It was worth it, porn star. Like I said, I'm glad I took your suggestion. Like I said, I wouldn't waste my time on a movie like this at all. But that coding shit, and I'm not the biggest conspiracy guy. Am I? Not really. But I like to hear people's wild shit, you know? Like really, it's like and I like mess like when movies like code that type of shit, you know, it's always like it always like eagers me. It always intrigues me, you know? It's not like I'm on YouTube like being looking at conspiracy theories and all this shit, but like with movies, it makes it more interesting. I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, I do agree. They were definitely trying to send a message through, man. Part 3 was basically another Jason Goes to Hell. You know what, porn star? I was thinking of revisiting part 3 as well. Um, only thing I remember about part 3 is his shitty mask, is his shitty look. And I think part 3 was like intended to be like, you could say like a comeback, because I think part 3 is when New Line Cinema picked up Leatherface, and they were trying to make him like a, you could say like a mainstream household, like, you know, Freddy, Jason. So New Line Cinema picked it up, but part three, of course, was I think it was a flop. It wasn't as great, you know. There's a few good things I do remember. Like I said, I gotta revisit it. I might revisit it one of these days. Part three, um, but yeah, like I like how it's kind of it was a little darker. Like it was atmospheric. It was a little darker. I feel, you know. But yeah, but it wasn't. I don't think it was. It wasn't a great. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 wasn't as great. You know, I think I still like the second one better. I think Halloween ends took some from this and Friday the 13th part 5. Yeah, man. You know what? Yeah, Halloween ends reminds me of a lot of shit. Of course, you got the you know, the part 5 comparisons. Uh you know, this of course like yeah, like it really like you could tell they got some elements from here, you know? For sure, man. That's what I was saying, trying to code some shit. Yeah, you know, and yeah, when you mentioned that porn star, you know what, the whole coding shit, that's what actually made me want to rewatch it as well. You know, other than the fact that it's been a while since I've seen it, but like I said, a lot of that shit is interesting, uh, in like movies rather than like YouTube videos. You know, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Yeah, you know what? But you know what? Supposedly, this could be some. This could be. I think people may be reaching. uh, that's one thing too. Like the simple, like the like I think they I saw like a little video, man, that they were like I think in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre they even coded some shit like that Illuminati shit in the original. I think because the way a Leatherface like cut the door with the chainsaw, the way he cut it, just because how the way he cut it was like a triangle shape. Just because like little shit like that really doesn't like fascinate. Like that's kind of dumb, if you ask me. It could be, of course, but I feel a little, I like to see like I like something more convincing, more serious, like shit like this, you know, like the whole Kennedy shit, you know, you know the people we don't know, and that shit, um, but yeah, but yeah, that's what I saw. Really didn't take too much from it. You know, you get more from this than that, you know. But yeah, it could be in a lot of these horror movies, man. A lot of classics, a lot of especially, man, you know, film the entertainment business, man. Even not just horror, kids shows, everything, dude. It's all encoded through this shit. It goes deep, dude. It goes deep. But it's crazy, dude. You know? Part one is still go. Yeah, man. Yeah, I love the first one. I always go back to the first one. Like I said, I feel the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, uh, not just to a lot of people the most creepiest movie of all time, the most scariest movie of all time, but the most realistic one. The most realistic. Like it's definitely more realistic feeling than like Nightmare on Elm Street, of course Friday, Halloween. I'ma say so. I'ma say so. Yeah, honestly. So yeah, man, definitely love the original, man. 74. I still have the poster. I have like a from the original. It's not the original movie poster, but it's a Leatherface poster. Of course, based on the original. Uh, but I replaced it with the Scarface poster, man. I'm gonna have to buy another frame and frame it up, man, because the original's definite. The 74 Leatherface, dude. That's an important staple in horror. Period. Yeah, yo, yeah, same with Halloween. Yeah, that's why I kind of thought about it because Halloween's another one that, like, oh shit, like it could actually happen. Like this could literally happen in the neighborhood across the street, you know? Shit like that, like believable movies like that. I like to see, you know? Me too, man. I love Part Five. I love Part Five, man. I love Roy Burns. Love it. Yeah, yeah, porn star. Me too. Yeah, that's why. That's why I'm kind of glad I rewatched it because, like I said, compared to like a lot of the later one, the recent ones, a lot of the crappy recent ones, it makes us appreciate some of those shitty earlier sequels a little better. Like Halloween, for example. I've mentioned this before too. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, was the worst Halloween movie of all time to me in the beginning at one point. And of course, once we got like shittier sequels and we revisit those shitty earlier sequels, it makes us appreciate us more. Like I definitely, I appreciate Halloween 6 way more, Halloween 5 way more. Uh, yeah, and same thing with this. Makes me appreciate Matthew McConaughey's performance way more, for sure. You know. Yeah, yeah, for sure. 2013 is kind of shit too, but it's more. It's at least watchable. It's at least watchable. Like I've rewatched it a few times. You know, thanks to Alexandra Daddario, man. I think she's the star of that movie. Honestly, like she carries it on. And no, I'm not gonna lie neither. The Leatherface in that movie was good. I like that Leatherface. The mask was kind of weird, but I like he like I think I seen the dude. He like he studied Gunnar Hansen's, you know, movements, his performance from the original 74. So yeah, so I really do like. I might I'm I also have to rank, and I was even gonna do a Myers one too, which is probably something I haven't done, man. Which is something that I should do because I haven't done. Is rank them by movies, you know, rank them by, you know, by each movie instead of ranking the movies again. But hell yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, definitely appreciate it. This is a custom made Roy Burns mask, hand painted myself. I love it, dude. Speaking of Roy Burns, little update. I might do a updated Roy Burns costume test because you know, I do have the neck. I've been having the NECA mask. The last Roy Burns costume test I did, I used this mask, but I might do an updated with the what's it called, with the NECA one, with the NECA one. Even though we all know NECA masks, no good. They're no good for cosplay. None of that. But we're gonna try it out. We're gonna try it out. See how we could do it. Yeah, that's the issue too, porn star. It's hard. It's hard. It's kind of hard to sit through a lot of this shit. You know, a lot of movies I've been trying to watch, man. But that's the issue. It's hard to go through them. Silver Spine, yo, what's up, man? What's up, man? Silver Spine. Hope you're doing good, man. Appreciate you tuning in on the live stream. I don't think that Leatherface. Oh yeah, man. That whole cousin thing. It was a solid movie. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of shitty. The characters didn't really care for, other than Alexandra, like the Dario. Um, but when it got to that whole cousin aspect, like, and you know, her trying to like take care of him, like, that's what killed it for me. And it was the movie has started off badly too, guys, because you guys got to remember the three Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D starts off. The movie starts off right after the right after 74 ended, right after Sally escapes, which they messed it up. They messed up the timeline, and it started off on that bad note, man. It definitely started off on that bad note with that 74 scene in the beginning. So once the whole cousin shit came about, like, yeah, I was done, and I wanted to see that in theaters, you know, but I actually didn't end up going, but I was. Oh, I remember being close to seeing that in theaters. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I hate it when they tend to water down our characters, man, our horror characters. Honestly, dude, like really, like it's become like a trend, dude. Like it's become like quite consistent. Uh, I don't know, dude. Look at Myers, Halloween Ends. Look at Leatherface in the next generation in the 3D. Like it's weird, man. I hate seeing that when they have to water down. You know, some of these badass horror characters, man. Like really, even with Jason, Freddy versus Jason, dude. I still wish Kane Hodder would have gone against Robert Englund, man. They completely watered down Jason's character. I hate seeing shit like that. Yeah, for sure. It's not the best. Yeah, it's not the best for sure. But it's like I said, it's 3D is kind of shit, but it's still, you could say, watchable. Like I said, I've rewatched it a few times. Halloween Kills the series. Halloween Ends the franchise. Real talk, man. Real talk. Kills and Ends go hand in hand for sure, man. You already know, man. Like Kills, I appreciate the action in it and stuff like that. At least Michael was a badass. At least we got to see a little bit of you know the last little bit of Myers on steroids or whatever. Uh, but yeah, very much so, man. Kid shows, yeah, man. Especially kid shows, yeah, man. Disney, all that. Yo, yeah, man, for sure. Jaws, great example. Black Christmas, dude, hell yeah. The Shining, The Shining too, man. I love The Shining. Like I mentioned earlier, man. I mean, like I mentioned in my last live stream, I definitely want to do a live stream dedicated to The Shining, man. We gotta go deep dive on that, especially after David Gordon Green ruined Halloween. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I think Gordon Green has learned his lesson. after Exorcist Believer. I don't think he would ever pick up another franchise. Blumhouse will. Most likely Blumhouse will, but not David Gordon Green. I think he's done with it. I think the Exorcist Believer left him traumatized, dude. He exited. And I think they got a new director for which are people are actually excited for it. Uh I had yeah, the latest update to the Exorcist trilogy. I think this is what it was. They got a new director on board who fans really look up to this guy. He's a fan favorite. So people still have some hope for it because of the dude who's directing it. Don't know who it is, I can't recall. But supposedly it's not even gonna be a sequel to The Believer. It's gonna be a whole new, pretty much another, like, I don't know if it's gonna be a direct sequel to the original again, or just just another remake in general. But yeah, I think they're not really from what it seems they're not continuing after Believer. Do you think? Cause yeah, man. Hellraiser, Children of the Corn. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know what? Porn star. Hellraiser, I could sort of go through him. Not the sequel. No, I'm talking about like the first two, of course. I think I could go through them, but like the third, fourth, I really can't. Children of the Corn, man. It's a classic. I remember first watching that movie, the original Stephen King, Children of the Corn. I watched it for the very first time as a kid with my sister, man. We love that movie. I love that movie. I really liked it. That first time I watched it, man. What was his name? Isaac, the kid Isaac, the killer, or something like that. I really liked it. I really liked Children of the Corn, dude. When I first watched it, eventually I tried rewatching it, dude, and sad to say, I I just couldn't, man. I couldn't get it. I couldn't go through it. I'm not talking about the sequels. The sequels, that's, I like to believe those sequels don't exist. They really don't. To me, it's just the original. But just that original movie, man. There was like two times I tried rewatching it as like as an older guy. I couldn't go through them. I really couldn't go through the original movie. I don't know what it is, man. It could be the slow paced. That's one thing about Children of the Corn. It is quite a slow paced movie. It is fun. It is a good thrill, seeing these freaking kids, you know, come together and do their shit. But I feel like it's one of those movies that the first viewing is the first viewing is the best. Of course, you get the most out of that first viewing. But I don't know. I might revisit it soon, man. Like I said, there's a lot of films that I really want to revisit. Been trying to revisit, but it is quite impossible to sit through them. And yeah, like some of those you name, man, the Paranormal Activity, man. Yeah, I really can't. A lot of those new movies, like the Insidious, I can't go through those Insidious movies other than the first one, the second one too, I think. Uh, but like three, and then like, oh, I think three was actually okay, from what I remember. But like, yeah, a lot of these like new movies, man. Freddy versus Jason has some really bad dialogue, really cringy. I agree. Terrible dialogue. One of the worst dialogues in the whole franchise. Yeah. It's cringy, yeah, for sure. But it's one hell of a kick-ass fight, for sure. Evil dies tonight. Crazy, man. I really can't imagine, man. Like, let's do it. Imagine you're on your way to the emergency room, to the hospital for an emergency, and then you walk into that madness. Evil dies tonight. Like, what? Like, that type of shit is like, that goes back to the thing I was saying earlier too, about believable movies that have that, it's believable, Oh yeah, man, yeah, for sure. Lori, throughout that whole movie, she was in the hospital bed, getting, I want to say intimate, but getting, starting, you could say, to fall in love and start that bond in that hospital bed with, what's his name? Officer Patton or Sheriff Patton. Uh, that's no. That's the actor's name. If I'm not, what was his name in the movie? Hopkins. I think that was his name, right? Hawkins. Officer Hopkins. What's the actor's name is Chris Patton, something like that. Got it twisted up right there. But yeah, that's what literally Lori was doing in the hospital bed. Of course, yeah, man. Of course, in ends they, in ends you see them in, strolling down the aisle, strolling down the market, or the little market store. Yeah, man. One thing though about kills, of course, Lori didn't do shit in that movie, which was dumb. I didn't really like that. She was sitting throughout the whole movie, but what I do like, you could say, that's one thing too. If you guys go look at my like early videos talking about 2018 and stuff like that, I've always liked Andy Matichak's character. Something about her, like I really do like her. Like, she's likable, like, really. And what I liked about Kills is that they gave us more of her action. They gave us more of like and I know she also, I think Andy Matichak was also getting her feet wet in the horror game. So the acting definitely could have been better, but I'm talking about like her character. I was a fan of the character. Um, and of course, like I said, in Kills, she kind of does her thing a little bit more, rather than Lori. Of course, in 2018, it's more Lori, you know, doing her thing, and we get introduced to the Judy Greer character. Glad we got her out of the way. Uh, then we get introduced to the granddaughter, Andy Matichak, Allison. Uh, and like I said, with Kills, we got a little bit more of her, of course, and she was there. It was great seeing her, of course, but it was like a love story drama thing, so that doesn't count. That doesn't really count. Uh, Blumhouse is starting a game company. Blumhouse is starting a gaming company. Oh yeah, Silver Spine. I did see that. I know one of you guys did ask me that. I do recall that. On my last live stream, one of you guys asked me, I think, about Blumhouse games, and I'm like, Blumhouse games? I wasn't familiar. Uh because I think we were also talking about some of the horror video games and stuff like that. Um what's it called? Blumhouse games. I saw something like on Instagram, I think Blumhouse is like announcing like a new series of games, which that's cool. Definitely cool, man. Definitely, they're they're you could say that's they're stepping up their game. I prefer them doing that, doing stuff that is beneficial. That's gonna be beneficial. Come on, the gaming is top notch right now. Uh, so they're definitely, I could see them being successful, and I hope they are, man. I hope they really, spawn original games, stuff like that. At Blumhouse, their creations. Of course, they have their obviously they have their own original movies too. You know, most of them are not great, but maybe with these games, it could be, you could say, like a reintroduction, man. Like I said, I'd rather them do that than bring us a Nightmare on Elm Street, or bring us another franchise, remake another franchise. But that's dope. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. Wrong Turn. Yeah, man. I've never seen I never saw none of those sequels. I saw the first one, which was okay. But those Wrong Turn movies are like, yeah, it's just nothing special, to be honest. A lot of those, you know, cannibalism movies, woods movies, uh, you know, a lot of different movies like that, man. Wrong Turn for sure, cannibalism and all that. I say this, uh, when it comes to that, I'm not the hugest fan of like cannibalism movies and stuff like that. But if you want to watch that, or if I want to watch that, if I'm ever in a mood to watch that, I'm going for The Hills Have Eyes, man. You know, Wrong Turn was good. The first one, it was okay. But like a lot of these other cannibalism movies, like, it's been repeated. Same with the ghost stories. Same with the, paranormal stuff, exorcist stuff. All this shit, repeated cycle. And of course, we have our go-tos from each genre, from each, uh, 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 like cannibalism movies. Like I said, I'm going to The Hills Have Eyes. Um, Exorcism, I'm going to William Peter Blatty's, uh, 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 The Exorcist. William Friedkin's Exorcist, of course. Um, yeah, you know what I mean. You know what, Silver Spine? I kind of talked about it already, about the whole Jason universe thing. Like I said, man, coming off the news about, the TV show, it was canceled, then the next day it wasn't, or something like that. And then like a week later, we get announced a Jason universe. Uh, like I said, I think what that means is we're just gonna get more Jason stuff. As far as like merchandise, I see. Of course, they added a Jason to Fortnite. I think that's what they mean by universe. They're gonna do a lot more with the character, And like I said, man, same thing they did with Michael. Remember when they announced the TV show? Or whenever they mentioned about, the multi universe of Halloween. Uh, Around that time, Myers hit Fortnite. So I think that's what it means. They're being added to more stuff, you know, possibly more merchandise, possibly more stuff. Like I said, Fortnite, they're in there. But like I said, man, like let's say like a show, or a load, a show, or a string load of movies, and call it a multi-universe or whatever there it is. I don't. It's that's, I don't know. It's just not. It's just not it. It's just not it. Um, like I said, whenever they say universe, multi-universe, I think of Marvel, and that's what they're trying to introduce. They made all those freaking Marvel movies all complicated and shit because of the multi-universe and this and that. And now they want to bring it into the in the horror game. Like, it's dumb. Like I said, every time I hear that phrase with any of these horror franchises, it's like whatever. I despise, not despise it, but I just put not I just don't pay no attention, man, because it just doesn't go together. I feel, like it's good they're bringing them into Fortnite, more exposure. Yes, that's good, but like I don't know. Like I feel like it's more not it's not getting played out, but it's like they're watering it down. They just keep making gangsta. Yeah, yeah, porn star, right? Yeah, right, dude. I prefer them doing that. I prefer them doing that because, like I said, I could see them being successful with it, and I hope they are. I hope they do. They success with that, instead of freaking spending millions and millions of dollars on the rights for a trilogy. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, those remakes suck. Yeah, the Candyman remake. That movie was forgettable. I literally missed work to go see that movie in theaters. You know, I literally I was like I missed work literally to see that dumbass movie. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah. Other than that, franchises go downhill. It's always the first one. Wrong Turn, like I said, I only own the first one, and I think I have the. They have a remake too. It's crazy, man. Isn't Wrong Turn like 2000s? It's a new series. They made a remake in like 2020, uh, which wasn't as great neither. Uh, I think I own it if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I said, I'm glad we haven't, as of like I said, as of lately, movies like In a Violent Nature, movies like, Late Night with the Devil. I'd rather see that. I'd rather see that than returns of these, return of franchises we love, and them being just scattered all over the place, man. Just I prefer original movies like always, man. You guys know for sure, man. Same goes to Blumhouse, man. Like I think that's better for them. I think that's better for them. Like I said, all the rumors about them, uh, uh, uh you know, doing more franchises, which I could see them still doing more franchises. Like I said, My Bloody Valentine supposedly is in the works over there. A Nightmare on Elm Street supposedly. Uh, we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see. You know what? I don't really care. I don't really mind a My Bloody Valentine movie because, like I said, when I talked about that, it's not like My Bloody Valentine is this established franchise. It's only two movies. So a new movie wouldn't hurt. I don't think it would hurt. It wouldn't be we wouldn't mind. I feel, compared to like a Blumhouse Nightmare. Yeah, I would take a Blumhouse My Bloody Valentine, man. Even though we know Blumhouse's tricks, we know their little sneaky tricks or whatever. It'll kind of suck to see that for My Bloody Valentine to get that treatment. But still, man, like I said, it's not really like it's not like we get a movie every so often. So I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind compared to a Nightmare. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. I just think period they shouldn't do it all. They shouldn't do it at all. You know, they should just stop with the franchises. You know, but my bloody Valentine is still kind of resonate. You know, it's still the whole concept of it. You know, Valentine that could work. That could work. Like I said, it's still it's not really like if anything, my bloody Valentine was ahead of its time. You know. Yeah, yeah, dude. Yeah, that's very true. Silver Spine. Yeah, because it's like the obvious choice, right? Like, and I don't really consider that gimmicky. Like some people that might be gimmicky, of course, hockey mask, hockey stick. It's not really gimmicky or cliche. None of that. It's more. I think it's more cleverness. And you're right. I'm really surprised they haven't done that. You know, that would be sick if you really think about it. Like for real. Like let's say uh 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 you know Jason enters a hockey game. He starts brutally killing the shit out of people. He kills, you know, one single person. This certain person is a hockey player. Jason creeps up on him, on his cabin, in his house, whatever. Kills him with his own collection. That type of stuff, you know? About the, yeah, that's it. I think that's when maybe they seen it that way. Maybe they kind of thought maybe it's been thought about, but they probably saw it as cliche or something like that. But I don't think me personally, I would love to see that. You know, like that's kind of like I said, clever. It's it's different. You know, it's like not really out of the ordinary. You know, where he saw a billboard of a hockey mask. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, and also you know what I was also thinking in the remake when what's his name? I forgot his name. I think the actor's name is Aaron. But obviously, yeah. But the dude in the remake, he breaks like the dude's like chair or something, and he goes to like the cabin, and you know trying to get some tools to fix the chair or whatever. And I think he comes across this hockey stick. I actually thought of that. You know how you know he finds the hockey stick, he starts playing, and then Jason pops up on him, and then he tells them, "Oh, you might need this, the hockey stick." But he did not kill him. He did not kill him with that. I think he just choked him to death or something. but but yeah, that's actually what I thought of. Yeah. As far as you know, the closest thing with a hockey stick and stuff like that. But like you said, it's surprising they haven't done it. It's definitely surprising they haven't done it. And I'm all in for it. I'm all in for it. Whatever they do next, uh, show movie, I'm all in for it. I think it could still work. They should really, you know. I mean, come on, we've gotten worse things in horror movies, slasher movies these days. So I think they could. I think they should just go back to the formula, man, of having fun with slasher movies rather than trying to connect it to its predecessor, to its roots. I feel that's the issue maybe that's lacking. They're too focused on trying to connect it to the previous original, to the roots, and they kind of lost their touch as far as having fun with it. Having fun with a slasher movie and really, you know, having fun, you know, like you could like a lot of slasher movies, fun, cheesy slasher movies, like you could tell Even though some of them might be shit, might be crap, but you could tell during the filming or the making was fun. For example, this the next generation. Like I said, I was watching like a little documentary, like after I watched it or before I watched it. And like I said, we were talking about the whole thing about Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. Both of them became big stars. They kind of despised it in the beginning. Like I said, they're starting their career. This is kind of like a bad image. They didn't really want that. But of course, both of them admire it now. Like I said, to a lot of people, like for example, Jennifer Aniston, who was in the first Leprechaun movie, she was literally like embarrassed for quite some time now of being in that movie. I think she would even deny it at one point. But yeah, but these two acknowledge it. But one thing that when you guys could look up interviews when they talk about this movie, it seems like they acknowledge and they cherish the fun of the making. Because yeah, it's a shit movie. It's a weird ass movie, but you could tell, man, what hell of a filming experience, I bet. And yeah, both of them have come on the record and say that's like the best thing about it. The fun they had making it. And yeah, I prefer a silly movie like this than like you know a direct sequel or a soft remake, whatever they do. But yeah, that's what I think. I think they should go back to the formula, having fun, not too much fun, or you're gonna end up like Don Mancini with Chucky. But you know, have your fun, man. Funny how in Jason Goes to Hell, you have a sister Nish. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's funny. You're right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, dude. Jason Goes to Hell is weird. You guys know I really do like Jason Goes to Hell for the simple fact I grew up with it, and it's just so weird. It's like films like these weirdness. It's like so weird. It's like so bad. It's good. Like Jason Goes to Hell has a lot of issues, but it's so bad. I've always respected it, admired it for how weird and heart eating weird it is. But yeah, man, for sure. But yeah, that's very true. Yeah, they never brought it up. None of that. They kind of try to pull like a what was it? Freddy's dead. They bring his Freddy has a daughter and all this stuff. But have you seen Jeepers Creepers? Yeah, man, of course. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. Not really, films I visit too oftenly, to be honest. The first one's good. The second one's pretty good too. Not as good as the first one, but it's definitely a real memorable movie. Part two, for sure. To a lot of people, it's like I feel like a lot of people remember Jeepers Creepers 2 more than the first one. Like with my sister, man, like I remember she would always like, talk about Jeepers Creepers, of course, and she would always, her memory was scenes from that second movie. You know what I mean? I even had an ex-girlfriend, man. She even mentioned Jeepers Creepers 2. So I feel like Jeepers Creepers 2 really resonated with a lot of people. Definitely was the more watched, I think. You know? Of course the Creeper definitely, he is a good character. He is a good horror villain, you know? But I think honestly, you know what I think went wrong with Jeepers Creepers other than the fact of, the director and all that. Uh but I think the issue, man, I think they waited too long. Because even though Jeepers Creepers 2 wasn't as good as the first one, people still liked it. Like I said, people still cherish part 2. People still really memorable with part 2. But I feel they waited too long. They waited. I remember late 2000s, early 2010s, dude. The hype was still there. Hype. I remember hearing Jeepers Creepers 3, Jeepers Creepers 3. It was still there. It literally came out like a decade later, man. Probably more. Uh, like a decade and a half later. Jeepers Creepers 3 was, like I said, long awaited. I would always remember. I remember that talk. Jeepers Creepers 3. And unfortunately, man, they waited too damn long that they ended up with, you know, the shitty Jeepers Creepers 3 they did. You know, like they really should have captured, and I think it would have had a bigger fan base, maybe a little bit more successful if they released it like around the 2000s, like late 2000s or something, you know? Because I think Jeepers Creepers 2 was 2004 or 2003. Like 2007, 2008, the latest 2010. They could have dropped it around that time, and it would have definitely we would be hearing about Jeepers Creepers more. Trust me. Oh yeah, for sure, porn star. Yeah, you know what? Jeepers Creeper, like the first one, really. Of course, it's the first one. You're getting introduced. You got to get down to the climax, which is I love those. I love those. What's his name? Josh? No, no. I think his name's Josh. Well, the actor, the brother and the sister. I like those characters. They're likable characters. But I wasn't the fan. I wasn't the biggest fan in the first one. How, like I said, you gotta wait for the climax. It's a little more slower. Part two, like I said, has the action. It does what a sequel does, and I think that's why people gravitate more towards the second one. You know, of course, the bus, the school bus, memorable. Like same with me. Same with me. As a movie, I think the first one's a little because I feel the second one was a little too cheesy for me. But like I said, I think that's the beauty and the fun of it that resonated with people more. I might revisit it. I might revisit it too, Porn Star. Part two. Haven't seen it in a while. But it definitely like it had its fun. It's definitely more fun, more cheesy than the second one, than the first one. So I think that's why people do like it more. I definitely understand that, you know? For sure. We don't need to talk about yeah, oh hell no. Yeah. Like the first one, dude, like it really like towards the end, like towards the middle, you gotta really see, you know, once shit starts jumping off, you know, once they, you know, visit that one old lady, you know, but yeah, man, for sure. I had no idea. I can't really say anything much about. Wait, hold on. I had no idea why. Egg, yo, what's up, Egg? Appreciate you tuning in, man. You know what? For sure, the Halloween 5, one of the worst ones in the franchise. For sure, one of the worst masks. H2O, man, despite the whole. That's what ruined H2O's reputation, man, as well. Uh, Not just the Scream, you know, gimmicky movie that it is, but the whole transition of the mask. I feel turned a lot of fans off with H2O. Me too. I was one of them. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't the hugest fan of the mask. Of course, like I said, there's like three different masks they use, the CGI.
But if we're talking about the main mask throughout the movie, the main mask the main H2O mask, not the KMB, not the CGI, the main one, it's really not a bad mask. The only problem with the mask is I feel the eye holes were too big. The eye holes were too see through. Uh, they were too big. You could literally see his eyes. That's the main turn off. Also, another thing about the H2O mask, the hair, it seemed a little too stylish for me. I don't know. It seemed a little too. I don't know. And I actually don't own the H2O. I don't own the H2O. I don't mind buying it. I really don't. Yeah, I really don't. I've never been in a rush though. Like I said, it's definitely like, come on. I literally have the H5 mask. Why not have the H2O mask, right? So I think that day might come. That day might come. Trick or Treat Studios version of the H2O mask is not bad at all. I know it's one of their earlier releases, their earlier Myers mask releases, so the hair isn't that great compared to a lot of the later ones. But it might be time. Not now, but there's gonna come a time where the H2O might make it to the collection just to finish it off, man. I just need H2O and Resurrection. Those two masks. Resurrection, I like the Resurrection mask a little more. Um, it looks a little bit more menacing. It looks a little bit more not the biggest fan of the actor who played Myers. Um, his performance as Myers in Resurrection didn't like, but I like the mask. It's kind of like the H2O mask, but it's more menacing. It's not as like goofy looking. It's not as like I don't. It's not as like it's more menacing than the H2O. I feel. So yeah, eventually, man, I will get them. I will get them and complete the collection. Speaking about masks, man, I have a mask unboxing coming up. Uh, yeah. Stay tuned for that. The sister was fine though. Yeah, man. I forget their names, man. But yeah, hell yeah, I love her. And the brother, he's like a one of those actors who also is big. Like he's not just he's more than horror. But the sister, yeah, man, definitely. That's what I've always loved about Jeepers Creepers. Are the characters, man. I personally wish the H4 man have the smaller eye holes. You know what? I think they're not too bad. I know the H2O, I mean the Halloween 4. Now that I pay attention, dude, damn, those are terrible cutout holes. Yeah. Uh yeah, the eye holes I don't necessarily think more smaller, but cut out a little bigger. Not bigger, better. I don't know. This is really or it's probably just me. I don't know. But also the Halloween 4 mask has the eye mesh, so it's not too bad. I really the H4 man, definitely one of my favorite Myers masks that Trick or Treat Studios came out with. It just really resembles. A lot of people dislike this mask. I get it. It's like really cheap looking. It's like it's like weird compared to this. Um yeah. Of course you can't compare it to the original, but something about this, man, I've always liked. I don't know. But yeah, I think they did a good job with this. They captured it really good. Here's the H5. Even though this is a shitty mask, it still resembles and captures the shittiness of the mask. H6, of course, this is a lot of people's favorite from Trick or Treat Studios. Of course, this is one of their best ones. Most definitely, man. And I have this remake Friday the 13th Jason mask. I would love to own a bust like a like his face, his bust of like from the remake. Like I had made a custom one like out of a blank blank old man mask like I did with the Roy Burns and the part 4, as you guys can see. But it doesn't really seem to work with the remake because the remake it's like it's not like the typical old man head sculpt. Oh shit. So doesn't really fit it. But I have seen a few videos, man. Uh People do have like a sick bust. Looks exactly like Jason did unmasked in the remake. Awesome shit, man. Definitely if I had that top money, that's one of the main things I'll get, you know? KMB sucked. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, that K the KMB is the one that looks like an alien, huh? Yeah. I don't know. They messed up for H2O. All the transition of the masks, it was just like really wasn't necessary. It looks like a light bulb. Yeah, it really does. Really does, man. And I'm surprised. Of course, the Halloween fans, uh, they would get each version of them. You know, so of course it's not really a loss for Trick or Treat Studios. You know, they came out the KMB version too, and of course, fans are still buy it. Fans will still buy it. So speaking of Silver Spine, I can't wait for Trick or Treat Studios to release their Jason Goes to Hell mask. Pretty sure it's coming out this year, this October. Can't wait, dude. Definitely can't wait. As you guys know, I did my Jason Goes to Hell uh, costume test update. Go check it out. We'll be doing a updated 3, a third update once I get that Trick or Treat Studios mask, man. So I can't wait. I definitely will do a little bit more of a touch up, one more touch up on the clothing. Uh, but yeah, man, I can't wait. I just can't wait to display it here with my collection. I really hope it looks good in person, though. You guys know, man. I know it's just stock photos, and you guys know, man. Trick or Treat Studios, their stock photos are amazing. They're great, but the final product, not that great. Do you like the Psycho movies? Yeah, man, I really do. You know what? I was gonna do a series review on the Psycho movies not too long ago. I thought I had them all, but I guess there's a Psycho 4. I don't know if I didn't know. I thought it was just till part 3, and then the remake. But I guess there's a Psycho 4, man. So yeah, definitely gonna be definitely gonna try to come across it, man. And I definitely will because that's one series I've been trying to talk about, especially the original, and the second one, dude. Underrated sequel. Love that sequel. One of my it made it to my top 10 sequels. Cycle Part 2. Definitely go check that out. Um, but yeah, that's definitely a series I've been trying to review. So that's definitely in the works. You know what, Egg? I've never been the biggest fan of their knives. I do have a few. I have their latest one, the Rob Zombie one, the from the Rob Zombie movie, which is just a regular butcher knife. Uh, I have that one, and I have the 2018 knife, and then I have their Halloween, their very first knife they came out with, the foam one. You remember that foam one? Still have that one. But like I know they came out with like a Halloween like four knife, the original knife from '78, which I was planning on getting uh this past Halloween, because as you guys know, last Halloween I did go as the 78 Myers. I was gonna buy the knife, but you know what? I've never been the biggest fan of their knives because I just feel they're too big, like too big to be a Myers butcher knife. I know in the original it was quite of a big long knife, but I also don't like the shininess to it, the glareness. It's too fake looking. You know, I actually still use for the cosplay. I use the foam knife. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, that's literally the one I use, the foam one. And the tip is like kind of bent. It's kind of ripped because, of course, it's foam. That's one thing. In the beginning, like I'm glad they stepped with their knives. They started doing them plastic, but in the beginning they were foam, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Uh, but it does the job. It does the job. I might have to step up my knife game, because yeah, I'm still using the cheap foam one. But yeah, but honestly, when it comes to knives, I never been too big on it. Honestly, just the butcher knife, and there you have it. You know, I have quite a few different butcher knives. I don't, but I might have to get like a decent replica. Chrome, yeah, the chrome knives. I wasn't. Yeah, I really wasn't the huge fan of like the whole chrome look. It just, like I said, just doesn't really look as realistic, dude. Like I know they kind of added that to make it shine, to make it more real, make it look more real. You know, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I think it makes it look more cheap, if anything. You know, that's why. That's why. Yeah, so that was I was gonna mention that too. Silver Spine. Other than the knives looking kind of cheap, they're kind of pricey. Like, little dude, the I remember I was trying to get the 70. There was a few times I was close to getting that 78, but it's like $20. The the Rob Zombie knife that I bought, it was like 15 or 17, almost $20. That's a lot for a knife, you know. But yeah, that's too much, honestly. And I don't, yeah, for trick or treats, even their costumes, they have solid costumes. They have costumes you don't see anywhere else. They're like the Connect. They got a lot of shit over there. But as far as like quality, like I heard the costumes are not too good. Even with figures, they even started, doing figures and stuff like that. I haven't actually. I have. Well, it's my brother's, but yeah, Trick or Treat Studios. They. I think their masks is what does it for me. Honestly, some of their figures I do actually kind of want. Not not as like in a hurry. Um, but yeah, they got some stuff over there. So yeah, but I agree, dude. I feel their knives were too pricey too. In fact, the H2 knife you have is actually kind of rare. Really interesting, man. Yeah, you know what? Since those were their very first, that was like their first knife they ever released. I think the foam one. I even have the Chucky Voodoo knife. The Trigger Tree Studios one, the foam one. I think now they do on plastic now, but I have the plastic one and the foam one. But that's interesting, dude. That's interesting. Yeah, since those plastic ones kind of flooded the market, those are a little bit more common, you know? Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I always recommend this um, to any of you guys who are trying to start a cosplay. Uh, Myers especially. I always recommend, man, looking at thrift stores, even though thrift stores, like, it's not always guaranteed. I've seen people be lucky and come across some nice coveralls in thrift stores, but most of the time there really isn't any. But my best go to is eBay, dude. eBay. Get a used pair, especially for cosplay. Like, I don't really recommend you buying like a brand new pair of coveralls for a cosplay, especially if you're gonna weather them up, make them look dirty, make them look like used, make them look Michael Myers ish. Go to eBay. Get a Just buy like a used pair. Not obviously not as used, but a used pair that would do the trick, and they're affordable. Secondhand. That's what I do with all my coveralls or with all my cosplays. Coveralls, my Rob Zombie coverall over there. I bought it for like $30. You guys know those the Rob Zombie coveralls. Those are a little bit more pricey. Um, they go for like $60, dude. Even used, even some, because I think the brand, some of them are quite rare. So even used, some of the like more accurate ones, the used and depends the brand, they are quite pricey too. But yeah, those Rob Zombie coveralls, they usually go for like 60 or more, man. I was able to get it for like 30. And like I said, there really isn't no reason for me to buy like a brand new pair, 60 or whatever bucks. You're gonna be dirty in it anyway, either way. So they actually really, yeah, cause pretty much that knife from the foam one they came out with, it's pretty much a Halloween one knife. But of course, at that time, they didn't have the license to. They only had Halloween two. They only had the license to Halloween two, so they licensed it under Halloween two. But it was obviously the H1 butcher knife, because of course in H2 he did not use no butcher knife. He used a little scalpel, which Trick or Treat Studios does sell as well. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. I'm not. Yeah, if they re-released it, it's probably under H1. I'm not sure if it's still the foam version, but I used the same jumpsuit for my Jason 8-bit costume for last Halloween. Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. That's dope. You went for something a little bit different. 8-bit Jason. Uh, that's sick. Yeah, you don't really see that. I know people usually go for like the main iconic looks of Jason. 8-bit. I remember. I remember being a kid, man, and I was like at the store, right, and hoping to uh you know come across some horror figures, some horror stuff, and I came across this Jason figure, but I was immediately turned off because it was the 8-bit Jason, the purple Jason, and I did not buy it. I don't know. It's dope. I like it. I like the concept, but I don't like it enough to like have a figure, or like maybe the hockey mask, but not like a figure, nothing like that. But it's a cool concept. The 8-bit Jason, best way to do it. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, I always recommended that. That's how I've been doing it since day one, since a kid, man. You could even use old clothes, man. You don't even have to hit the thrift store, none of that. Old clothes laying around, making something out of nothing. I think that's the beauty of making cosplays and stuff like that. Especially for me as a kid, it's always fun making them. It's always fun making them. Even the ones I did, the latest ones I did, the part three, not the part three, the part four, which definitely the costume test coming soon. The Jason Goes to Hell cosplay, definitely worked on the clothes a little more, but definitely always fun. Interesting, man. Interesting, yeah. You know what? I remember as a kid, I remember thinking, like the shredded, the fabric that the ghost face masks come with, the goofy ears. I remember like my very first ghost face mask. I was trying to cut them off with scissors because I'm like, what the heck is this? But obviously, that is used to tie it around, and I think it's makes it better fit if you ask me. But yeah, that just reminded me of that. I remember wanting to cut them off with scissors. So far, I own the Trick or Treat Studios kills. Awesome, man. Awesome, man. That's dope. Yeah, for me, I only have, as far as Trick or Treat Studios, I have the foam knife. I have the Halloween 2018 knife, and I have the Halloween Ends knife, and the Rob Zombie. You guys know they came out with the Rob Zombie mask. They also came out with some of the knives too. I also want to get. You know which knife I do want to get? The Bowie knife, the knife the Hobo Myers uses. I always liked the Bowie knife. I always liked it. I might get it. I actually did see it at a Halloween store, like in October, but I did not buy it because it was like over $20, and this particular Halloween store uh usually does that, overprices their stuff. So I passed on it, but definitely wanted to get it. You know, have you seen Doctor Giggles? I actually haven't, man. I think I heard of it. I heard of that title, but I actually have not seen it. But but yeah, guys, you know what? I think that's gonna be pretty much it, man, for today's live stream. Definitely had a good one, man. Definitely lasted in here quite some time now. Longer than usual. Um, but it's definitely all to the good, man. Definitely much appreciated, like always, man. You guys are always much supported. Definitely always supporting, which definitely much appreciated. And yeah, it was just great talking different shit. Going over over some of these movies, man, that I watched. So yeah, egg. You know what, egg? I still do have that knife. Yes, I still do have that. The very first knife. Um, Fun World, Rob Zombie. Yeah, I very much so, man. Which is the one I think I will use for the cosplay, because the one that Trick or Treat Studios came out, it's a clean knife. It's a clean, and I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to leave it, sealed in the little cardboard thing. So I will be using that Fun World Rob Zombie knife, man. Yeah, for sure. Most definitely I have that, man. That was one of my very first like knives, I think. Like I remember like when I first bought that, like in 2011 or something. Not even like 2014. Yeah. I'm like
this is sick, you know, because at that time you didn't really. That was when Phone World just came out with their Rob Zombie mask too. Because I remember, man, I always wanted. I know Don Post had a Rob Zombie mask first, and then Phone World releases their Rob Zombie mask. I remember buying it at Party City that year, and then I think a year later they came out with the knife. Yeah, for sure. Still have that. And you know what's funny, dude? They still sell that, they still sell that damn knife. The exact same one, but they repackaged it as Ghostface. Crazy, right? Have you guys seen that? Have you seen that? Yeah, it's crazy. But like I said, I most likely will use that one for the cosplay because the only problem with that knife, it was too flimsy, too cheap, but it's definitely the details there, bloody's there, definitely does the trick, you know. But yeah, they still sell that knife. They still sell that knife. Ghostface is just the exact same one, exact same one. I wish I had it around here, man. And yeah, it's probably deep because I haven't seen it in a while. Uh, but yeah, man. Have a good night. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Nicholas. Appreciate all of you guys. It's almost 3 hours. Yeah, man. That's a trip. You more longer than usual. Um, but it's definitely all good, man. You know. You know what, Silver Spine? I don't. As far as conventions, yeah, like actual boots could be kind of tiring. That's why I also recommend. I know some people really like to be get down to the accuracy. Um, so some people will obviously go for some boots, actual boots, work boots. But if you're definitely looking forward to something comfortable, probably something like these. These are definitely no work boots or nothing like that. Honestly, I prefer these than like regular black shoes. I don't know. I just for cosplays, I really don't like I really don't like wearing regular shoes. But check these out, man. These are polo shoes. They look like Meyer shoes, Jason shoes, everything. You can use this for anything, and they're really comfortable. Like that, they're not heavy at all. I think I got these at Ross. At Ross, go check it out. Any store, you know, any little stores like that. Go to their shoe section, and they should have some of these, man. Like I said, they're like shoes. They're boots, but they're not really like uh, heavy work boots. You know, so and I already used these like on Halloween for quite some time now, man, and they definitely are comfortable. So definitely, as far as you know, shoe wear, that's what I like to do. I especially, I mean, they're just black boots, black. So I really don't. I never. It's never like intrigued me to buy, you know, actual work boots. I know those could also be kind of pricey. Uh, but yeah, man, giving you guys some definitely some recommendations, man, for any cosplay. You know, always good catching up and chopping it up. Most definitely, man. Yeah, it's always great, man. Weekly live stream. You guys know, man. I always gotta go live at least once a week. It's always Monday, Tuesday. You know, I think last week was Tuesday. Seen it at Party City last year. Yeah, everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, that's like the common knife now. You know, only 9 minutes. Yeah, man, for sure. 3 hours. We definitely reached it. I don't think I've gone. I think I've gone like 2.5 hours, but I don't think we haven't gone to three. Definitely haven't gone to three.
But yeah, man. I mean, as far as the cosplay thing, definitely have a lot more coming. Like I said, a few more Jasons. Part four is probably the next Jason. Rob Zombie Myers for sure. Yeah, man, for sure. Definitely can't wait. Leatherface 2. Scream 2. Oh shit. I have like a lot of cosplays I gotta do. I gotta do Scream 6. And I'm gonna do an updated classic Ghostface costume test. Because as you guys know, I had recently acquired the 25th anniversary robe. So that should be for a good costume test, man. Hell yeah. Uh yeah, Myers too, the Rob Zombie Myers. Now that I got the coveralls out of the way, we're gonna knock those out of the way, man. Personally, don't like the round point though. That is only the thing that friendly. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. There's a lot of like I totally get you. Like I'm not like you mean like you mean like round like the tip, right? Like the shoe. Yeah, there's some that are a bit too round. Like these you kind of see them too round. You could say, um, like too big, where they kind of look. You guys know how some of those clowns, like where it's like big, it's like kind of round and it's big. Don't really like those. These are a little bit like that, but really not really as huge. I used to have. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Silver Spine. Yeah, I have the part four. I have the Roy Burns. That remake I just showed you right now was the NECA. NECA. I always mentioned it. Don't recommend it for cosplay conventions. None of that. Because yeah, it's uncomfortable, dude, and not just uncomfortable, dude, but it's fragile. Trust me. I had like two Jason masks break on me. NECA. So you always got to be careful with those. I mean, like, oh, the Rob Zombie knife. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. That one was a little bit more on the safe side. You could say a little bit more round compared to like these other ones. I mean, the touch ones are, you could say, quite round too. But but yeah, I mean, definitely when it comes to knives, Trick or Treat Studios definitely didn't fail to supply us with the knives, man. Like I said, I know the diehard fans for sure got each knife from each movie. Hate the round point on the Rob Zombie knife from Fun World. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's one. Yeah. Also, another downplay to the Fun World knife is like the I don't know why I have these pencils next to that damn Myers mask, man. Huge mistake. But yeah, it's too flimsy, too cheap. Um, that's why I never been the biggest fan of it. But as far as detail and paint job, it's definitely pretty sick, dude. Definitely pretty sick. So before I go, I'm gonna show you guys the Rob Zombie knife, the latest one I had bought. That one. This is the Fun World mask, as you guys can see. It's the clean one. Uh, so yeah, man. Also working on the collection update. I already know how it's gonna be set up. I already know where it's gonna go where. Definitely gonna be quite a major change, man. Here, I'll give you guys a little update. I even started hanging some of these Scream masks. Of course,
definitely had to display them. Usually the spoof masks, those screen masks, are usually like in I usually have them like in the box or something, but I'm like, nah, I gotta display them. I gotta hang them up or something, you know? Just to make the collection a little bit more fitting. Got the uh, new EU mask. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. I really was surprised I'm almost by Drit Nap Effects. Interesting, man. Interesting. I actually did not know that. Actually did not know that. Um, when whenever I do the collection, I always also know this shelf. Um, so yeah, definitely it's all gonna be set up, man. Probably we could see the best cosplay. I mean, best cosplay, the best collection update since till date. At least that's how I'm gonna try to approach it, man. Now that we got some more space out here, it's definitely workable. Oh yeah, man, definitely recommend you guys checking out, getting yourself one of the newer EU. They definitely have that vanilla scent. Fye, uh, Fye's website. That's where I got mine. I'm not sure if they still have them. They could be sold out. Definitely go check it out. We hit 3 hours, man. Yeah, hell yeah. That's what I was hoping for. That's why I stayed on here. Hopefully we get to hit the 3 hours. Hey, man. Like I said, I think it's my first 3 hour live stream, man. It's all good. Monday chilling. You know, might pop in a movie right now. Have some dinner right now, man. I'm gonna kill off the night, man. Definitely, I'm like in the mood for a movie or something. I don't know. I just been chilling, man. Uh, but it's great. It's great we achieve. It's great we achieved 3 hours. Of course, it's always here to achieve new accomplishments and stuff like that. I still need to get the Scream 6 mask. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, me too. I have two Scream 6 masks. One tagged, one untagged. One came with the 25th anniversary costume. And that's the one I'm going to be using for the costume test. All I need, the only thing that stopped me from the Scream 6 costume test is the shotgun. The shotgun. I want to come across a shotgun prop, a little shotgun toy. Most likely like a cheap toy. I don't want to spend too much on this little prop, a little shotgun prop to kind of, implicate that scene from Scream 6. I don't know. I just think without the shotgun, it's not it's not like a complete Scream 6 costume test. So that's what I've been waiting for. But before that, I think I should start it. I should start the scenes without the shotgun and save that for last. But legendary shit, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. It was great chopping it up with you guys, like always. Like I said, support is always much appreciated from you guys. It's always great chopping it up. Weekly live stream. Hope you guys take it easy, man. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Be safe out there. Take it easy. Hope you guys have a good night. Hope you guys are resting well, the whole 9 yards. You guys know what's up, man. Shout out to all of you guys. Peace out. It's the Michael Myers signing.